guys, I'm really excited about today, and since we had that beer, Adam, a couple of weeks ago, I honestly have been looking forward to this day to catch up with you and to meet Paul. I'm David Westerman. We have Adam Faulkner and Paul Mills from Joy Air. I'll sort of summarise, but please feel free to jump in and elaborate. So you're a new business, relatively new business that's come to Lake Macquarie / Toronto / Warners Bay.
Yep.
Offering joy flights all around the lake really, and can be custom made to whatever people want within reason.
Exactly, yep.
This is the beast right here that Paul is the chief pilot, Adam also a pilot, but you're doing the flying at the moment.
I am, yep.
So tell us a bit about Joy Air and how did it come about, and a bit about yourselves.
Well, look, for me, the Joy Air journey started many years ago. I was a pilot from my teens, so flying's been around me for a long time, and it was a way of trying to find something that's commercial that can bring aviation into my life in a more sustainable way.
Yep.
The idea of flying a float plane and having something near the beach and being able to bring something different and access to the experience is just unique with a float plane, the way I see it. So. Joy was a long road, and it fortunately found its home on Lake Macquarie, which is, we think is the perfect location.
You could not have picked a better spot, and textbook Lake Macquarie Day today.
Yeah, amazing.
Absolutely
Look
beautiful.
At it. Yeah.
And how did the name Joy Air come up?
Look, it was a bit of a brainstorm with some friends, my wife and I and another couple sitting around a dinner table with a glass of wine and thinking, what are we trying to, what's the brand that conveys what we're trying to do, and so whether it's a float plane or some other sort of aviation type of experience, we wanted it to all to be about joy, and experiencing joy and the exhilaration of flight, and trying to bring that to people in a different way, a different format, I suppose, which is really where it came from, and the concept of being able to access and like you say, build your own experience by tell us where you want to be picked up from with our little tender service. We've got our brig. We can come and pick you up from anywhere and give you your flight. We're starting to expand. We'll talk a bit more about what we're actually doing in terms of scenic flights, yes, but we're starting to do lunch runs and taking you down to Trinity Point, for example. We're exploring Port Stephens as another destination for day trips. So there's some great stuff happening, but our core offering at the moment is really a scenic flight offering.
Yeah. And I did a bit of an introduction on social media, just on Facebook, just to let people know that this interview was coming. And I was honestly gobsmacked by the response from people. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, gave thumbs up and were really interested. And I think it could stem from the fact that there is a bit of an aviation history to Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we have the Rathmines Catalina, we have Pelican, we have a great airport at Williamtown, we have a handful of, private airfields, training airfields, and I'm learning to fly myself, so I've got a real interest in it as well. But Paul, from a pilot's perspective, how is flying a float plane different to a traditional sort of fixed wing aircraft?
The actual flying part's almost no different at all.
Yeah.
It's the getting off and back on the water is the bit.
Right.
You've got to work on that. And that takes a little bit of practice, only experience, endorsement, to learn to fly a float plane, and it's all about landing and taking off and water handling. So if you come from a boating background, generally you'll get hold of it pretty quick.
So that's things like landing into the wind.
Into wind and landing crosswinds, even landing a bit downwind sometimes, just when waterways predict that's the only way you can go.
Yeah.
And docking, manoeuvring around vessels, jetties, that sort of thing.
There's a few more things to look out for.
There's a lot to it, more than a runway. A runway at an airport dictates which way you're going to take off.
Yeah.
Taxiway dictates where you get to the runway.
Yeah, right.
Whereas here, you've got to decide where you taxi, where you take off.
So I suppose it could be an advantage in a way that, a runway, like you say, the wind's coming from the north, you've just got to put up with what you got, but here you can jockey yourself to the best optimal.
Generally, as a float plane pilot, you work on taking off into wind and landing into wind.
Okay.
Float planes don't like crosswinds.
Right.
So you're generally working at landing into wind, but there's some times where you just got no choice. In a narrow waterway, a river or something, where you've got to take what you've got. So all the training will combine with all that, taking off in all those sort
Yeah.
of different conditions and landing in those conditions.
Yeah. So the other really positive thing here is that your flights that you offer can be custom made basically to whoever wants it. So
Absolutely.
you have a tender that or a boat that comes along with this aeroplane ordinarily.
Yep.
So if I'm at home, you could drive the boat to the nearest public jetty, pick me up, take me or my family, and go from there.
Absolutely. We've been
great.
and that the word's starting to. I think it takes a while for people to understand that flexibility exists.
Yeah.
We've had a few birthday presents off private jetties down at Nords Wharf. We've had people who are starting to understand. We could come and pick you up from our jetty if you're on the water.
Yeah.
It really does create a different experience in terms of being able to surprise someone for a special occasion.
Yeah, that's
it
great.
doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
And you're right. We've got our set offerings, our flights. We've got 3 flights out of each location. So
Yep.
this being one, Rafferty's Resort being another, or the south of the lake.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you're buying, you're private chartering the aircraft. It's
Yep.
your aircraft. So if someone buys a 20-minute flight, they decide, I don't want to go down to, down past Catherine Hill Bay. I'd rather do something different.
Yep.
20 minutes is yours.
So-
So the aircraft is yours.
So today,
Absolutely.
I believe we're going to Nobby's. Is that right?
Oh, we can go
Yeah.
wherever you like.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
so you'll do the Rum Runner flight, which is
Great.
a very popular
So-
flight out of Warners
So am I
Bay.
doing the takeoff or the landing, Paul, today?
You can do both if you like. As long
Leave
as
you
I'm
to it.
sitting in the seat near the controls.
The other really positive thing as well is that the endorsement or the support that you've got from local businesses, and also Lake Macquarie City Council as well, have been
Yeah.
really proactive in supporting what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
And that's a testament, I suppose, to them at the moment and what they're doing to
Absolutely.
support businesses coming to the lake and making the place more,
we're
more
just
appealing.
rounding out Lake Macquarie as a destination that needs to have the different elements that a destination needs to offer.
It does.
The focus on adventure tourism, the focus on tourism, and how do we crystallise and build on what's already here.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation to be part of, and the council is being very proactive, and I think they're great to deal with.
Yeah,
So
that's
absolutely agree with that.
I think you find too, people that don't want to go on the aeroplane will come and look at the aeroplane.
That's right.
So they'll come down here, look, buy a coffee and do that sort of stuff. So,
Because there's people standing around here as we're filming,
Yep.
enjoying it all. So, okay, so as far as people making bookings,
Yep.
obviously they could just go to your Joy Air website,
Absolutely.
which
Yep.
is,
So it's www.joyair.com.au.
yep, okay,
Yep. There's also a 1-800 number on there, 1-800-JOY-AIR.
yep,
So they're really the two. We get a lot of people who just book straight through the website. You pick your flight, you pick your time, and it just gets locked in. You make your payment, and it's all nice and easy.
great.
If you've got any questions or you want to do something a bit more out of the box, then give us a call and we'll walk through what options look like for you.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so really easy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well we'll put all of that details on the screen anyway for the video, but I can't wait to get up and out there. I'm all yours.
I think, and you've opted for the doors off experience.
Doors
which
off,
is,
take them
which
off.
Which is one of the unique things that this aircraft offers, a general aviation aircraft that you can just take the sides off
I love
and
it.
go flying. So can't wait to get you up there.
Yep, fantastic. Can't wait. Let's do it. Let's go.